the D2C. So I believe we both are the first generation entrepreneurs, right? Yes, I started my journey in 1996. It's been 30 years of work life. And the journey, I wouldn't say was easy, but it has been very, very beautiful. It has been very satisfying. And now, yes, looking forward to the next chapter of life. And surely there's a lot to learn from the man sitting next to me when we're talking about D2C space. I'm running one of the India's largest robotics organization, HoverRobotix. We manufacture hoverboards. How many of you have driven or seen a scooter in your life? Scooters, all of us? Okay, have you ever imagined you fold a scooter like a laptop, carry in your hand? Unfolded, ride it. Okay, I have already made it, commercialized it. And if you have studied Ramayana, the Pushpak, now we are working on a project, We Think and Fly. And along with that, we are one of the largest D2C in that space in personal mobility. And then it's a sheer privilege to share the stage with Sir in D2C. Sir, I'm curious, I've lived this journey firsthand myself. D2C started as a trend, right? And now it has become a very dominant business model. So what is that in today's era, that D2C brand is differentiated from just another online seller?
So today the whole ecosystem has become robust, and India as a country with a large, massive, world's largest population is an amazing space of opportunity for people who are into product businesses. Initially, it used to be online visibility of the products that you provide, but today the entire ecosystem not only displays of what you are having as a product or a service, but it also facilitates right from the manufacturer of the product to the end user of the customer. Because everything today, whether it is social media, whether it is your Shopify websites which automates a lot of stuff, you don't have to create your own e-commerce platform. It's already plug and play, whether it is online payment gateways, payment systems, advertising on Meta and Google, apart from your offline presence that you can create in multiple formats and fashion. It has become so convenient that logistics management has completely changed the game of D2C in India. And today, India is the world's fastest growing market for the D2C sector. What manufacturing did for India post-independence is what D2C is going to do post the 2020 era. It's going to bring wealth to every possible corner of the country, because it is mobility in terms of not only content and communication, but also physical products which can be delivered logistically. Whatever was considered to be impossible at one point of time has today become possible because the whole ecosystem has matured. Lots of money is being poured into the e-commerce and the D2C front, which is making this possible, and entrepreneurs from unknown parts of the world or the country are today being able to create customers not only within the nation of India, but any part of the world. So the network is not only internet which connects people with information, but the logistics network is actually connecting products to the potential customer in the remotest part of the country or the remotest part of the world. We are in an era where whatever you think is a great possibility and whatever you want is available at any point of time. We are in the third phase of this D2C growth, where you're talking about a 10 minutes delivery, you're talking about dark stores. A language which was not known just 3 to 4 years back is today become a part of your life. You can just think about a product, talk about it, and by that time you finish the conversation of the product, if you place the order on quick commerce, it is already delivered at home with a lot of guarantee, a lot of assurance, and absolute anything and everything that you desire. Even gold is getting delivered. Mobile phones are getting delivered in a span of just 10 minutes. This was impossible just 4 to 5 years back. In this era, the game is completely going to change. From an employee economy, India is going to be marching forward to the entrepreneur's economy. The wealth creation in any country depends on the proportion of the people that become entrepreneurs rather than becoming employees. The world's most powerful country, United States of America, has the highest ratio of population which is entrepreneurs, because of which they have ruled the capital markets of the world. That is what even China has done, which is the second most powerful country in the world as far as wealth creation is concerned. And now India is marching forward in that direction. And from a 3 or 4 or 5 trillion economy, India is going to march forward on the power that gets generated from the D2C segment of this country.
Wow, that's very very deep insight, sir. When you're talking about how beautifully we have evolved, there was a time when we had to send maybe a courier. It used to take days to the quick commerce and the hyper local. And there's an anecdote, a very funny one. I have a nephew, though I'm single, unmarried, but I have a nephew. He comes to me, I want to buy this, and I was like, okay, we'll think about it. Hey, no, you have to just press a button. It will just come in few minutes. And I'm like, wow. So there's a hard side as well to that when you're raising kids at home. So, but it's really beautiful. And when we're talking about the dynamics, the Indian market, yes, we are a dynamic market, almost 1.5 billion people when you talk about. And when we're talking about those dynamics, at the one side, yes, it's beautiful because we are one of the largest consumer economy in the world, and we are going the pace we are flourishing at. Reason being, we have the intellect, and we don't shy away working with our hands as well. So we are both mental labor and physical labor. Everything is available with us. But in that kind of dynamic market, there's a flip side as well. India is so dynamic that they say every 12 kilometers, the dialects, the cultures, the rituals, they change. How does a D2C brand say similar product or similar service? Routing pan-India.
So the whole country has now become one single village. India is considered to be a land of villages. 66% of the demand in the D2C segment is being constructed and created in the 2-tier and the 3-tier cities, because they have a wish list, but they didn't have access to products. But thanks to e-commerce, thanks to online visibility, thanks to Meta and Google, now those products are not only visible, but they are buyable. You can just order it on your phone, on your mobile phone. And by the way, we are the cheapest internet country in the world. The internet is almost at no cost. The mobile handsets are so economical. It is power in your hands where you can absolutely get whatever you desire. So the geographic location suddenly doesn't matter. You might be in the jungle, but if there is an internet connectivity, you can still order from there and it will get delivered. So this is absolutely what we would have thought 10 years back. This is like magic happening today. So there is no remote place in the country anymore. It is all a great possibility, and India, which has got the highest number of villages in the whole world, has today become an economy which is driving the urban cities of the country. Till yesterday, the urban cities was driving India, and today, thanks to D2C and the logistics movement which is happening, the rural part of the country is actually driving the urban and the metro cities, because the entrepreneurs are completely sitting in these urban cities and generating wealth from the people who are actually farming in the rural parts of the country. So the whole game is changed, and the movement of money has become so brisk, so easy, and so quick that wealth building is absolutely multiplying even as we speak.
Wow, that's very profound when we're talking about wealth building through D2C. And I totally agree with you when you're talking about internet. We recently opened office in Dubai. Sir, if I convert it to Indian currency, guys, you won't believe every connection we're paying about 3.5 lakh rupees per annum just for internet. That is more than running a cost of an office. That time I realized what kind of economy we are operating in here, how the dynamics they differ. So, sir, I'm just curious, like these days the consumer are so smart, they're not buying a product, they're buying stories, they are buying experiences, they're buying values. Even me, like I'm running one of this product company, it's the robots, but our office is called HoverRobotix Experience Center. We don't say that it's a product, we are selling you an experience, a lifetime experience. So what do you think, what are the major, or I would say main 3 ingredients that a D2C founder should look into before scaling up?
So the D2C founder should just champion the cause of the product. Every D2C business is primarily divided into 2 parts. The back end, which is the products, logistics and customer coordination, and the front end, which is advertising, marketing and customer acquisition cost. Now, customer acquisition cost is the race for a similar product in the sector. So if your customer acquisition cost is controlled, and if it is on the lower side, you win the game. Otherwise, it is dangerous. Every D2C founder has to champion the cause of the product and inventory management, and he should get into not funding, but he should get into strategic investing. If he can identify strategic investors, then the strategic investor does not only give money, but he gets his ecosystem, his experience, his knowledge, and the currency of influence. Friends, one message that I would like to pass on to this room is, the most valuable currency in the world is the currency of influence. And if you have earned that currency, then the money currency gets multiplied much, much faster. So as a D2C founder, if you bring on board a strategic investor who not only only has the power of money, but also the skill set of multiplying that money not only for you, but for even the investor himself, you're a sorted game. Everybody in the business, when you're an employee, you work for the Provident Fund. In the business segment, especially in the D2C sector, the entrepreneur should start working not only for the monthly profits, not only for the cash flow. Cash flow is the only reality of every business. So not only cash flow and not only the monthly profits, but you should work towards a very interesting word called valuation. So what is the valuation that a strategic investor can drive for you? Because ultimately it is not the matter of the quantum of equity that you hold, but it is the value of the equity that you hold that matters. So if you can have a great strategic investor on board who can make the segregation of the back-end and the front-end operations, and who can take the responsibility of generating revenue, you have won the game as soon as it has begun. That's one. Secondly, content today is becoming a great game changer. My dear friend Navneet is here, a very famous personality, a very famous face who has made India proud. She's into great content. Now people relate to stories. People want to understand who the entrepreneur is behind the brand. People want to understand what community is he getting built. And if you are getting the right community built, sale and revenue generation is easy. Customer acquisition cost can be lowered only if you have the power of content with you and if you are in the process of building community, because it is not a one-time sale that will get you valuation. Your valuation multiplies if a great percentage of your revenue comes from repeat customers. The success or the failure of any company or any product is answered only in one question, and that question is, what percentage of your revenue is coming in from repeat purchasing? If you have got a repeat customer, you have won the game. And that can happen only if your customer connects with the soul of the founder, and there is content backing the product, and there is a community which is getting built, which will ensure that you will get repeat orders. One short statement that I would like to make before we come to the fag end of the session. Any founder who's into D2C has to address 5 questions. The first, and these are all 5 P's. The first P is, what is a pain that you're solving in the market which can create a sector or which can create a market for your product? So the pain solving should be visible. The second P is, what is your purpose? Now today there is only social entrepreneurship which will see the light of the day. If your purpose in the market to do business is only to earn profits, you will never be able to build a community. You will never be able to justify your content. So what is the purpose of you doing business needs to be clarified very clearly to your customer. So the second P is purpose. The third P is promise. What is the promise that you are making to your market, to your customers, so that they can become your customers? Now this promise does not be only promise. It needs to be followed by the proof. If you have the proof that you have delivered your promise, your repeat customer base will multiply, your community will grow, and the valuation will hit the roof. So that is the fourth P. And the fifth P is people. Who are the people associated with you on your cap table, as your vendors, as your employees, as your customers? Who are those people? And as the founder of the organization, you need to have a philosophy which goes and percolates down to the last man in the organization. It can be as simple as an office boy, but the same philosophy should percolate, because हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं ना, जैसा राजा वैसी प्रजा, और गंगा ऊपर से बहती है. So the founder with philosophical thoughts converted into a product or a service which gets distributed through the power of D2C has a strategic investor on board who aligns with your philosophy and makes sure that the value that you participate for and the value that you generate for your customer is much beyond the money that is paying for you. Like for example, a customer who is buying the product from you, he should feel that I am paying for a Maruti car and I am getting an Innova, or I am paying for an Innova car and I am getting a Mercedes. Value creation is the new game, and this value creation first happens in the perception that you build from the content that you create for the community that you are building. If you follow these principles, the game is going to be unlimited, and India is going to become the valuation capital of the whole world, because what we didn't have is being created, and what is being created is going to be valued so much that money from the rest of the world will flow into India as a country which needs needs the capital for growth, and that is where strategic investors will come in, get married to the right prospects in the form of founders for the right product or services, and multiply the business not only for that founder, but build wealth for India as a nation. Thank you so much.
Wow, that's I would say very, very deep rooted, those golden nuggets. Thank you for sharing, sir. And I can very much correlate because now I will be very honest. Like I call myself an impactpreneur. So now the entrepreneurs terminology is also bypassing the right term that is coined is impactpreneur. What kind of actual impact you are creating in the world, what problem you are solving, and that is beyond profit making or any monies. And anyways, that is always said, whatever venture you're running, money should be the byproduct of that. So it's been 30 years, 12 ventures I have established across 65 countries, and this is the philosophy. And maybe I believe that is how I've been so successful. So they have already asked me to wind it up. Just last one question, if you can answer that quickly in 30 seconds only, because this is what I did different in life. So I'm curious how to decide whether to build a product customer is asking or whether to build a product customer don't know they need. Because what I did way back in 2015, when I built hoverboards, nobody had a clue that what hoverboard is and why I have made it. And now we are everywhere. Now we are viral. So I'm curious to know this from you.
The best investment can happen in a company where the founder has built a product that the customer never knew he wanted.
Wow, thank you so much.
And that should be a game changer. And I would like to suggest to the founders of D2C brands that you need to become a passionpreneur. If you're a passionpreneur with the impact bundled with the passion, then you will get strategic investors who will absolutely make your dream come true. And that is happening day in, day out. There are so many ventures where we have invested as strategic investors, and making sure that we multiply valuation not only for our investments, but also for the equity holding of the founder. So I wish you all the best, all the founders in this room, and may you get the right partners. So partners is not only restricted and limited to getting married to the right person. Getting a strategic investor on board is also equally as important as taking a marriage decision. So have the right partner in business like in life, and always think of taking your company to the valuation stage and getting listed on the stock exchange, so that the wealth is enjoyed by the whole country and not by a few investors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sharing, sir. Well, guys, have a right person, but don't get married. Thank you.